Here is everything that you need to know about the PPI report tomorrow. What's going on, team? It's Ricky here with TechBot Solutions, and tomorrow is the Producer Price Index. You might be like, Ricky, what the heck? The CPI report just came out. What is the PPI? Is that an infection? No, it's the Producer Price Index, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything it is that you need to know in preparation for tomorrow's PPI report. So let's go ahead and jump right to it. First things first, one of the things that I actually did is I actually posted my loss of how much I lost today on my SQQQ trade, and if you want to check that out, it's on my Instagram story, and that's that third link in the description down below. Just a little heads up, it is over a $5,000 loss. So it is a tough day, right? But just like on our green days when I have over $10,000 or $20,000 in the green, remember, if you can't accept the red days, you haven't earned the green days. And today I made a very simple mistake, and I made a little tweet about it. I posted it on my Instagram as well. And I talked about, today would have been a very simple day of just locking in profits. At one point I was up over $5,000. I went from green to then red. And that's one of the toughest pills to swallow because, again, it's just very discouraging knowing that you were up, but your inability, right, of greed or not locking in profits with that quick change of direction. Today's a perfect example of why it should be refreshing to remind myself to never be afraid to lock in profits, especially when market direction is uncertain. So overall, as you guys can see right on over here, TQQQ is up 2.2% after overall for the day, and then an additional 0.23% after market hours. If we look at this on the 4-hour time frame, it's showing signs of it still being bullish. We have not made new highs in the past week and a half, if I'm not mistaken, on the NASDAQ market. So we're going back to retest that same resistance. And if we go to QQQ, then again, that's a 1-for-1 on the NASDAQ market. And that previous resistance range is right around 315. So definitely something that we're going to be paying attention to tomorrow if the NASDAQ market continues to indicate signs of an uptrend. But as of right now, although I believe that the market is bound to pull back because of that very bad CPI data report, I have to respect the bulls, right? And this is something that I've talked about before, taking it day by day, knowing that right now we're still trading above the EMA, we're trading above the moving average, we're showing signs of higher lows, and we're going back to retest the previous resistance level. So I'm going to go and see tomorrow after the PPI report, but here are some things that you should know. So what is our current PPI inflation rate? And what exactly is the PPI report? First off, my goal here on this YouTube channel is to encourage you to be self-sufficient. I want you to have access to everything it is that we talk about, and this is all free and readily available for you guys. This is from bls.gov/PPI. This is the exact website where the actual report gets released. It's the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and our current PPI inflation rate is 6.2%. So 6.2%. Now the question is, well, what do we expect our PPI report for tomorrow, right? And again, I want to provide that for you right on over here. They actually expect an increase month over month of 0.4%. So again, they actually expect an increase when they drop off the previous month. They expect to add 0.4% is the expectation or the forecast for the inflation on the producing side of things in January. That's going to be reported in February. For those that are unaware, tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens, there's the PPI report and then the core PPI report. Now, again, my job here is to make it very simple to understand what exactly is this PPI report and why do you need to care. Again, the PPI report is viewed as a way to be able to forecast future inflation. This is capturing the inflation rate, right? If it's going up or going down on the producing side of things. So let me explain why this is useful for investors like you and I. At the end of the day, majority of the market just cares about CPI because that's on the consumer side. It's what consumers are experiencing for inflation. Obviously, the average person is going to more care about their inflation rate than what producers or manufacturers are experiencing. There's more people than there are producers, right? With that being said, as investors, it's very useful to be aware of PPI reports because if we see inflation going up or down on the producing side of things, then that can forecast and kind of bring some light or shed some light in future inflation rates going up or down on the consumer side of things. The easiest way for me to put it is if we see inflation moving on the producing side of things, it normally gets passed down to the consumer side of things, because at the end of the day, producers need to maintain profit, right? They need to keep up with overall revenue and maintain those good net profits. So if they see that their inflation's, if they're seeing costs going up because of inflation, then again, that is what's being tracked on the producing side of things. This is the producer price index. So let me explain. Let me give you a real world example. If we see that, on this PPI report that inflation is actually going up higher than expected, then it's to be expected that we can then therefore expect that producers are going to make adjustments, right? Maybe make their goods or services more expensive, and it's going to get passed down to consumers. So if producers are experiencing higher inflation, that's normally going to get passed down to consumers later down the road, and vice versa. If inflation is going down to the producing side of things, then therefore producers can bring down the cost of goods if they ever choose to do that, and then that gets passed down to consumers. Again, it's a great way to be able to forecast, but of course, it's never going to be as, I would say, the market reaction to the PPI report is never as dramatic normally as a CPI report, because at the end of the day, majority of people care more about what a consumer is paying than what a producer is paying. But I just wanted to shed some light on where the value is by understanding these PPI reports. I was thinking of live streaming this report. I definitely do not have to. If you guys want me to live stream it, I just want to make sure enough people show up. Get this video to over 1,500 likes. I just want to make sure enough people show up to that live stream. It's going to be 1 hour before the market opens, which is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Or if you're in Arizona like myself, that's at 6:30 a.m. And again, I definitely do not have to host the live stream if you guys don't want me to. But if you do, then all we literally ask you to do is drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications so YouTube actually notifies you when it is that I go live. The only last thing that I do want to remind you is that aside from the PPI report, we also have the initial claims and the continuing claims report. That is people that are filing for unemployment for the first time, that's initial claims, and people filing for unemployment numerous times, right? It is to be expected that there's going to be 203,000 people filing for unemployment for the first time, which is more than what was previously expected or previously reported at 196K. Now, why is this important? Remember, there's a lot of eyes right now on the unemployment rate. And if less people are filing for unemployment, then that means more people are most likely getting hired. And that means that the unemployment rate will therefore go down. Well, why is that a bad thing? But remember, if they see that the unemployment rate is going down, we currently sit at 3.4%. The market expectation based off of our previous report was 3.6%. So it's actually doing the exact opposite of what the market was forecasting. And that's not necessarily the best economic data for the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve wants to see the economy struggle. They want them to feel the pressure. And by seeing exactly what we're seeing right now, if we see that these initial claims and continuing claims are coming in lower than expected, then that means that there's job growth there. And although that's a good thing for the economy, that does not promote economic cooling. It's the exact opposite. The economy is expanding as more people are getting hired, more people are getting jobs, and the unemployment rate is most likely dropping. It's kind of a weird way to think, but again, the way that I try to focus on the market is how the Federal Reserve will interpret that type of economic data. So again, my job here on YouTube is just to make things a little bit easier to understand. If you have any specific questions, one of two things, you can either comment down below or shoot me a direct message via Instagram or Discord, and that's going to be the first or third link down below. Friendly reminder, I do trade live every single day exclusively with my Learn Plan Profit group. Let me make sure I remind you that I offer nothing else. I don't offer any form of management or signals. You're going to get a bunch of fake accounts that are going to try to message you pretending to be me, asking you for money that they'll trade for you. I don't do any of that. I offer one thing, and it's to watch me trade live every day. So if you want the ability to watch me trade live, it's going to be the second link in the description down below. I offer nothing else, right? So if you want to work with me on a closer basis, take 2 minutes, click the second link down below, and you can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow at market open. I literally do it every day exclusively with the Learn Plan Profit group. I offer nothing else. All of my accounts are always verified. I never message you through WhatsApp or through Telegram, and I never ask you for money. Please make sure that if you ever get a message of someone pretending to be me, that you simply report them and tell them to F off. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we'll see you guys for tomorrow's PPI data report. And if not, then I will see you guys on the next one. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.